Now, driving in Colorado is not like a lot of places with snow. You got cliffs, rock slides, avalanches to deal with, and in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to drive here and get you driving just like a local. Hey there, my name is Dewey. I am a Colorado video maker. Welcome to my secret skiing channel. Now, I have been a Colorado off-roader in some of the absolute worst conditions, summer or winter, but my winter specific skill set is as a shuttle van driver driving transits and sprinters from Summit County to the airport and back in some of the worst blizzard conditions possible. And I've also been shuttled around this state as a railroader, and I've seen pretty much everything you can see here. I've seen it, and we're gonna get you caught up to speed in this video on how to drive in this amazing state. So let's get right into it.
Your route may be affected by avalanche warning.
All right, now if you have a long line of vehicles behind you as you're going through the roads, let them pass. It is much safer to pull off to the side somewhere that's safe and let those vehicles pass you in one swoop instead of allowing those vehicles to pass you one by one. That one by one passing ends up creating a lot of riskier situations for all the other drivers out there, and there's nothing wrong with going slow, but when you get that line of vehicles behind you, get off to the side, let them pass. Now the next tip is when you are making curves like I'm about to do, you want to take them slowly and wide. Now it's raining right now, but it's been snowing today. The temperature is fluctuating around 32 degrees. That means that it could be potentially slick out there, and curves are where you're going to have it. You also want to avoid making those sharp turns because that is when cars spin out. I've seen it. I've been behind cars that have done it. So it's definitely take those curves a little bit easier. Now let's go into probably the most important rule for driving in Colorado, or most important tip, is the driving lane is the right lane, the passing lane is the left lane. And it doesn't matter if you're going 10, 15 miles an hour over the speed limit. If cars are passing you on the right lane, you need to be in that right lane. Honestly, you should be in the right lane the majority of the time, and that left lane should be absolutely clear for when a vehicle does need to get around. Unfortunately, vehicles driving too slow in the passing lane does end up causing accidents in this state, so it is an extremely important rule, and honestly, cops are going to end up pulling you over if you're driving too slow in the passing lane. Now, most states have to deal with wildlife, but in Colorado, it's on a different level. Now, I've seen vehicles traveling at 75 miles an hour on I-70 smack a deer head on, just completely ruining their day. But the deer aren't really what you have to worry about here. It's the massive elk we have, the big old moose, and they are all over this state. I mean, especially more on the slower roads, you have to be watching out for them. And my tip to you guys is drive slower at night and be paying attention to the sides of the road. Now, you do want to be cautious and be looking out for them during the day, but at night they are especially active, and at night they love to jump out right in front of you. So be careful at night, keep a lookout for them, and I hope you don't hit one. So Colorado has some pretty strict traction laws, and just because you might have a very capable vehicle doesn't mean that you are compliant with the traction laws. Now, these laws are put into place to keep the roads smooth. I've seen when people don't follow them, I've seen jackknife semi-trucks, I've seen really bad wrecks, and simply all these traction laws are a set of guidelines or rules when conditions warrant it. I've seen I-70 with worse conditions than this. I've seen, bad conditions because sometimes no matter what you do to the roads, the Mother Nature is putting it out quicker than you can keep up with it. And I've definitely been on I-70 with about 4 to 5 inches of snow on I-70 and the gates weren't closed. So you can actually encounter conditions like that out there. So make sure you have the right traction aids. Now, I absolutely love snow piles like this, but I love them especially on off-road trails, and we will be doing some off-road trails this summer on the off-road channel that have bigger snow piles than this. But that brings me to my next tip. Pull off to the side to get your photos, to get your video. It's absolutely all right to take photos of this beautiful place, but don't disrupt the other drivers behind you, around you. You know, they're trying to get to work, they're trying to get to school. Pull off to somewhere where it's safe, take your photo. Don't do it while you're trying to drive and get around. It's just a little bit too disruptive, and that's it. It puts you at risk as well as putting the other drivers at risk. All right, now in the winter, you are absolutely going to encounter the hardworking crews of CDOT and local counties plowing the roads, trying to make them safer. They're going to be putting mag chloride down. They're going to be, you know, trying to make them smoother, but you definitely want to give them their space. They are, you know, working in pretty bad conditions, and maybe the road in front of them is really bad, and that's why they're plowing it. So you definitely want to give them some space. I promise you they will pull off eventually and let you by, because they know the rules that we're talking about, and they know when they get a long line, they are looking for a safe spot for them to pull off, let the vehicles around, and then they go back to work doing their thing. So definitely give plows some space. All right, now the next good tip is practice driving in these conditions. One of my favorite things to do is just get out when I have nothing else to do and get out here and see how my vehicle responds in snow, ice, all kinds of conditions. It'll make you a better driver, and it'll make you better prepared for when you do encounter bad conditions out there on the roads, that you're gonna be able to actually get through them perfectly. Practice makes perfect. All right, now it's not a good idea to tailgate in this state. It's especially not a good idea to tailgate in the winter. Most recently, I had a truck that was tailgating me. I was following another vehicle. They were going the speed limit. I was happy with that. I gave them about 4 or 5 car lengths of distance between us, because it was not only snowing, there was ice on the road, but this truck was in a hurry and really wanted to get past us. Unfortunately, that didn't really bother me, but it could potentially bother other drivers. So in that situation, the best thing to do is to take a deep breath, relax, and then you will find an opportunity to pass the vehicle you want to pass. But it's a lot better than actually tailgating them, and you really should not be tailgating here in this state. All right, now my final tip, if you are just coming to Colorado to ski, I recommend taking the shuttle. Now, these towns that I've lived in, Breckenridge, Keystone, Steamboat, they have amazing public transportation systems. They'll get you to the slopes, they'll get you to where you need to go. Most of the time, you do not need a vehicle if you are coming up here to ski. Now, if you want some insider ski guides, hit that subscribe button, because I am going to be making those on this channel, and I will give you the best information that I can give you